Hey, how y'all doing? This is Mongo Slade, and there's nothing to talk about when it comes to Raw. Now, there is one thing on Raw that's worth talking about, and that is Randy Orton's Splinter Cell, or what I call Metal Gear RKO, where Randy Orton went into the Legends Lounge with a steel chair and a pair of night vision goggles and went to town on Ric Flair, Christian, Big Show, and Shawn Michaels. That was fun. But other than that, Raw was not good. But Raw has had the same problem it's had for the last 6 months. Simply put, there's no creativity. It's been a absolute bore watching the show because the same people wrestles the same people 100 times and storylines go on forever. So that's what this video is going to be about. So there's a problem with Raw. They keep trying to interject new things into the show, retribution, comebacks, drafts, different things like that. They just mean trades, different things like that. Bringing in the what's this the cross season uh thing where somebody might jump from SmackDown to Raw one time every quarter. They keep bringing in all these get the Raw Underground, which apparently didn't happen tonight. So there was like all these gimmicks that they've been doing with Raw, and it doesn't, none of it matters, none of it means anything. Everything gets boring after 2 weeks. It partly is because Raw is 3 hours. That's part of the problem, but it doesn't have to be if you stretch the matches out. It doesn't have to be. But the issue clearly is that whoever is writing these stories think that these characters need to interact every single week. That's not necessary. It is not necessary for Apollo Crews and Lashley, even though they're in a feud, to fight every single week. It's not necessary. Apollo Crews can wrestle other people. Okay, Lashley can wrestle other people. They don't have to fight every single week. They don't. They don't have to be in the same segment every single week. They can do multiple things. Like if you're a person, if like yes, in regular sports you can have a rivalry. But those rivalries are, you see when the scheduled game is or whatever, and you work towards the scheduled game. Now, they have not been doing as much of this on SmackDown. But they did do it with the triple threat match, where they had the triple threat match on Friday and then had again just with ladders on Sunday. But Raw, my God, it's like back-to-back weeks of Keith Lee versus Randy Orton. Back-to-back weeks of Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre. Back-to-back weeks of Apollo Crews and Lashley, or Apollo Crews MVP versus Apollo Crews versus blah blah blah. It's the same people every single week. The Street Profits versus Andrade and Garza every week. Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders every single week. Every week. Every week. It is an absolute hamster on a wheel. Yes, this is, I believe, it's probably one more Raw before the draft. It's probably one more Raw before draft. The Raw needs this draft badly. Now, I it's a problem because none of the champions are beatable right now. And what I mean by that is you don't want to displace anybody. Some of the people who are in position for good reason. Let's talk about the most beatable champions first. The most beatable champions are probably the Street Profits. They've been champions for a long time, but you have no tag teams to beat them. So you have to take time to actually build a tag team division, which you can't do, because who's going to be in it now that Bobby Roode's back? Are you going to have Roode and Ziggler? It's like, okay, but that's not really fresh. That's kind of the same, but then you have Asuka. Asuka's wrestling a fresh opponent, but she wrestled Zelina Vega at the pay-per-view, and then she wrestled Zelina Vega again on Monday. So guess what? I guess she got to wrestle Zelina Vega again. You can't diversify her opponents at all. She couldn't wrestle Zelina Vega and then Zelina Vega get a win tonight and say, hey, I'm challenging you maybe next week after she beats somebody, anybody, Liv Morgan or, somebody. Or I think Liv Morgan probably got the Rona. But maybe somebody else, anybody else. She could have gotten a win over a jobber just to show that she could win, and then give her one or two more wins and then do a rematch. You did a rematch back to back. So that means, like, I just watched this. I just saw this. Why am I sitting watching it again? It's the same shit again and again and again. Even when they try to do something new, even when it's new, they will continue to do it again. They burned out Keith Lee within a month because he had 2 matches against Drew McIntyre, 3 matches against Randy Orton, all in the 1 month, all in 1 month. So it was like, what are we going to do? My oh my, what are we going to do? It is a hamster on a wheel. You're continually running. It is not productive. The of course the feud that feels like it's been going on literally forever is the Murphy Dominic Mysterio feud. Look, I'm burnt out on it. I'm done with it. This whole Aaliyah sending DMs to Murphy, I'm not even offended by it because there's a lot of 19-year-old girls out here fucking 31-year-old guys. You can pretend that it's not happening if you want to. She's legal, whatever. And I'm not even, again, as long as they're not kissing and stuff like that, which would make it weird, I don't care. And I kind of saw this coming. Everybody saw it coming, so it's not that big of a deal. But I'm pissed that we still stuck with this fucking feud. In this feud. Why is Rollins and Mysterio still going on? It's been going on since May. It's been going on since May. It is almost October, and they're still feuding. They've done almost everything possible. Like they've done eye for an eye. They've done steel cage matches. They've given multiple no disqualification matches. And I'm tired of watching it. I don't even want to see the match anymore. I know that Ray has been hurt, and maybe that's what they're pulling. Is dragging this out because Ray is hurt. Maybe. Okay, I'll give him some credit. Ray is hurt, but that doesn't have anything to do with, again, Dominic can wrestle other people. God, he was just in a tag team with Humberto. Why don't he just tag team with Humberto for tonight? And we just forget that Murphy and Rollins, or we do something else, and we push that to the back. Put that on the back burner for a little while. Yeah, he's still in the story, blah, 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 but we're not dealing with that right now. We have other things to do. Okay, we have to do a tag team match because there might be a tag team tournament or something coming up. Something else, anything else, literally anything else. Why is he wrestling Murphy again? Let's just, even Aleister Black and Kevin Owens. This is like their second match in 2 weeks. Second match in 3 weeks, I think, because Kevin Owens beat him two or 3 weeks ago, clean. Why are they still feuding? And I'm not even sure what they're feuding about. It's like, I don't get it. This is stupid. Okay, it's just plain stupid. People are repeating themselves in these promos. Nothing seems to go anywhere. Randy Orton is still feuding with Drew McIntyre. They've been feuding for fucking 4 months. Ever since Edge went down, it feels like they've been feuding. It probably hasn't been 4 months. Has it been 4 months? It's been 4 events at least. It's been too long. It's been too long. And I get it that you don't have any other people other than Randy and then the Rona keep taking people out. But you have to move people up. And this is what I mean by beatable champions. Right? Because Lashley just won his title. So you can't really beat him. Now it looks like they might be putting Mustafa Ali in this spot. Which is fine. But again, he's already beaten Mustafa Ali. He's already beaten Ricochet. He's already beaten Apollo Crews. He's already beaten those guys. Why isn't he wrestling other people? Why does he keep wrestling the same fucking guys? He's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like they refuse to diversify these stories and give other people an opportunity. And they think that people are so stupid that we'll think a feud is over if people don't interact every single week. You don't have to interact every week. Every scene doesn't have to be the same stuff. You could do different things, And Lashley is pretty solid as the U.S. champion. He's not really going anywhere. Asuka's pretty solid as the women's champion. She's not going anywhere. McIntyre, I love McIntyre, and I'm hoping he would lose tonight just so I can see something different, But no, he won. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Now he was engaging with Dolph Ziggler again. After they had 2-3 month feud, or probably not 3 months, probably, what was it, 2? They had 2 or 3 events. They fought like 3 or 4 times. and now they're kind of engaged again. You know, it's like I'm tired of this. It's like McIntyre has beaten everybody. You need to bring in. You need to do different stuff. There needs to be different stuff, and you can tell that this stuff is not changing because now Aaliyah's mixed up with Murphy, so this feud is going to continue. Ali has pinned MVP, so that feud is going to continue with Ali and Ricochet and all those guys versus the Hurt Business. That's going on forever. You know, Retribution got the Rona, I guess, so they're going to be pushed back for a while. You know, maybe because the Rona is the only thing that's really keeping Raw fresh. Otherwise, you really would be saying the same shit every week. You probably would have saw Retribution versus the Hurt Business again tonight. But, you know, since motherfuckers got the Rona, I guess not. So it's like, none of the champions are beatable. It's a completely... none of the mid-card guys are doing anything. They're all just beating each other. Or they're fighting each other to a bunch of disqualifications or matches that don't mean anything. The storylines are not progressing. Look, why not? I don't even want to give them a free idea. I would say a free idea could just be like letting Aleister Black and Kevin Owens main event Raw in some type of stipulation match. But they probably wouldn't do it. They'd probably do a stupid ass tag team match with the same fucking two guys. You know, the Street Profits versus what's the name? Ali, not Ali, but Andrade and Garza again. And Garza's hurt now, I guess. It's like there needs to be new stuff. The 24/7 title, same people. R-Truth, Akira Tozawa. Now they added Drew Gulak, but it's still Akira Tozawa and R-Truth. Nothing. All up and down the card is all the same shit they have been doing for over a month. The same shit. That you have all this talent and you have all the opportunities in the world. You have, you know, all of these different people and you just don't use them. You just don't want to put any effort into it. And look, I get that SmackDown is the $1 billion franchise now. And they're kind of forcing SmackDown to do different things. And SmackDown is doing a good job of it. But it's Raw's time to fix it. You have to fix Raw. Because Raw is the flagship. You're not showing everybody the same effort on Raw that you put into SmackDown. Stop with the fucking rematches. People are tired of rematches. You know, sometimes guys don't have to wrestle. They can just cut a promo. Or sometimes guys can wrestle other people. Matches can go longer than 4 minutes. Okay? You can have physical opponents. You can do different shit. You can do skits. They're starting to do skits and vignettes, like the Bianca Belair vignettes, which I haven't been thrilled about, but whatever. Some people get off on them, so that's cool. I haven't been thrilled about it. I think that it's backwards because she's already debuted, so now they're kind of re-debuting her. But whatever. You know, it's like, just whatever. And, you know, the only match that took place on the September 28th episode of Raw that I think was really fresh was Mandy and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Lana. That's a shame. Okay, because every other match is some variation of something that we've seen before. Even Drew McIntyre and Bobby Roode, they wrestled in NXT. But it was fresh for the main roster, so I give them credit for that. But it still involved Dolph Ziggler, who Drew McIntyre had already been involved with. You know? Every other match was something we've seen already. Multiple times. And usually much better. So Raw is in this. Raw has got to change. It's got to change. And I don't know. And I know that the draft is 2 weeks away. You know, something like that. A week and a half or something. The draft starts on October the 9th. So maybe that is probably 2 weeks. And the Raw, you know, Raw is the 12th. So they start on SmackDown, but it's going to be on Raw too. So it's going to be on the 9th and the 12th. But they need that draft very bad on Raw because Raw is in a fucking sunken place. It is a chore to watch Raw. It is. And that's a shame because it doesn't have to be. And the performers are doing the best they can. But a lot of them are Asuka is overexposed. McIntyre is overexposed. The Hurt Business is overexposed. You have a lot of people who are underexposed, who are not exposed at all, or not even participating in the show. Like Bianca Belair, she could be doing literally anything else. She can show her skits and give her a match, give her a quick win over somebody. Bring back jobbers, you know, just so you can have the girl do her entrance or something like that. Give people wins. Instead of every time you see them, they're fucking losing. Like every time I see Aleister Black, he's getting beaten up now. It's like, why can't he beat up Kevin Owens? Like, Kevin, what the fuck? Why is it every time him and Kevin Owens have any type of interaction, he ends up on the ground? Like, that's not what I wanted to see. You know, for starters, I'm kind of tired of them fighting already. You know, like they've been fighting for like a month now, and it's still kind of unclear why they're fighting. Look, I like both. Look, I like Aleister Black anyway. I'm not so much about, you know, Kevin Owens. He has his place. But again, like Raw, I'm just repeating myself. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like this video, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.